A lot of people didn't believe in these Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I get it. They were sitting at 1-5. Lamar Jackson was still not going to be playing in this game against the Chicago Bears. They were on a 4-game losing streak, and the Bears were on a 4-game winning streak, so they were coming in hot. John Harbaugh just got caught lying to the media about Lamar Jackson's injury. The Ravens is just having a lot of mess going on. But despite all of that mess, despite all of that craziness, they still got the job done. Team Keep It Clean. I am here to share my post-game thoughts from the game that we loved. Beating them Bears. Baltimore Ravens did it. 30-16. Baltimore Ravens, I thank you for having my back, because I'm not normally one to talk trash, but today I was running my mouth to a lot of Bears fans. I really was, and I told them, I said, hey, sorry for what's getting ready to happen to you. And I was writing them all up and down Twitter. And even if the Ravens had lost, I ain't no tweeter and deleter. I'm standing on it. But the Baltimore Ravens, they allowed me to walk with my head held high after the game and just smile. Oh, this was a good one. Where do we get started? Let's start off with the offense. Why not? Tyler Huntley. My goodness, Tyler Huntley may have had his best game ever as a Baltimore Raven. Now, the reason I say that is because with Tyler Huntley, I was somebody who was initially not opposed to Cooper Rush starting over him as the backup quarterback, even though he had a completely different style from Lamar Jackson. What I was focused so much on was 9-5, 9-5, 9-5. Cooper Rush, when he starts, he's 9-5. But one of my guys pointed out something to me, and a lot of y'all had actually called this out when we first signed Cooper Rush. A lot of people didn't like it. They were like, man, he's nothing like Lamar Jackson. Why would we bring in a quarterback to run the offense if Lamar Jackson were to go down, who is nothing like our starter? And I was like, well, Cooper Rush got that starting experience, and while he did step in for Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott is not no Lamar Jackson. Style is not in any way, shape, or form the same, but he got that starting experience, and he can help keep this thing afloat just in case Lamar Jackson were to go out. And I really thought the Baltimore Ravens upgraded their backup QB. And when a lot of people were calling for Tyler Huntley to come back, especially when he got cut from the Browns, I was like, I don't really think the Ravens are going to do it. And should they? They could, but I don't really think they're going to do it. But I was completely wrong about all of that. All of that. And I will gladly own that. Because y'all know on here, if we were wrong about something, no problem fessing up to it. No problem owning up to it. So I was wrong about Cooper Rush, about the Baltimore Ravens getting Tyler Huntley. Wrong about it all. So, and I'm glad to be too. Because Tyler Huntley, he really did his thing. One of my concerns with Tyler Huntley was the lack of him pushing the ball down the field. Because I remember his time with the Baltimore Ravens before, when he ended up having to be the starting quarterback for different periods of time. He just would not push that ball downfield at all. It was a lot of dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. And it stayed dink and dunk. It wasn't no shots down the field like that. But in today's game, my goodness, there was a dink and dunk. But he pushed the ball downfield. He found ways to just move the ball, move the chains, whether he did it with his arm or whether he did it with his legs. And again, we talked about how with this offense, they do rely on the quarterback having to have them legs, having to be able to take off. But Tyler Huntley, he did just that. Looking at this game, Tyler Huntley, his numbers, he was 17 for 22. So very efficient, 186 yards, average 8.5 yards per pass, and had one touchdown, no interception. Almost had an interception. And it was a pass that he threw, and the defensive lineman tipped it, started spinning, and then I think Jaquan Briscoe, I forgot who it was, but their cornerback or safety, he ended up dropping it. It went right to him. I said, thank goodness. But Tyler Huntley, even taking away the stats, when the Baltimore Ravens needed it, he got it for him. He really did. And that was a beautiful thing to see. There was that fourth down play where they needed it. And they were like, no, it's too long to kick a field goal, but we still try to put this game away. DeAndre Hopkins, beautiful. Back shoulder throw, perfect. There were multiple times when he targeted Zay Flowers, and he, again, down the field. And he was doing this thing. Them passes, they were pretty, man. And then Rashad Bateman, he only got 2 catches, but they were 2 big catches. Tyler Huntley, he was moving around in that pocket. Tyler Huntley, again, he had to take off sometimes too, and his scrambles, let's look at them scramble numbers for our boy Hunt. He had 8 carries for 53 yards. His longest was 29 yards, and on that 29 that boy took off. He took off. In this game, for the most part, Early on, it seemed like he had to settle in a little bit, but throughout the majority of this game, after that first drive, he just really he was concise. His decision making, it was pretty quick. I appreciated how this offense, how they deployed it. Todd Monken, just to talk about Tyler and Todd. Todd Monken obviously has had a lot of heat on him recently. As you all know, there have been these hit pieces out on him from the Baltimore Banner, from the Baltimore Sun, saying, oh, everybody don't like Todd Monken. Everybody ain't vibing with Todd Monken like that. People like, oh, our offense is predictable. What are we going to do? Todd Monken is hard to work with. All this stuff about Todd Monken. Todd Monken came out today and said, now what? What y'all going to say now? I mean, I don't know why y'all even talking in the first place, but what do y'all have to say to me now? Talk to me nice. Because Todd Monken, he did his thing today, man, with Tyler Huntley, man. And I loved it because the Baltimore Ravens, they stuck to what works. They didn't overcomplicate things, but they were just efficient all game long. With Tyler Huntley, he took care of the ball. I almost thought he was going to fumble on that first drive where he got sacked, but he didn't. And again, we talked about the almost pick earlier, but guess what, baby? Almost don't count. It don't count. Ain't nobody worried about no almost because it ain't happened. But with Tyler Huntley, again, getting different guys involved, looking at the passing game, obviously that Florida connection with Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers was just lighting it up all day. Zay Flowers had 7 catches for 63 yards on 9 targets. So a nice game for Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers been having a quietly good season. We remember them fumbles from a couple of weeks ago, but that's 2 weeks ago, so we ain't worried about that. We can erase that from our memories. Rashad Bateman for 2 catches for 51 yards. Mark Andrews, 3 catches for 31 yards for 34 yards, but on one of them catches, Tyler Huntley hit that boy Mark Andrews in stride. It was such a pretty pass, a pretty catch. And then, boop, ball got knocked out. Thank goodness they ruled it a catch and fumble, because it was a catch and fumble, but I don't really, maybe I could be wrong, but I don't feel like we saw Mark Andrews much after the game. Much after that play throughout the rest of the game. But I could be wrong. But anyway, DeAndre Hopkins, of course, we mentioned that 1 catch for 14 yards on that 4th down. Charlie Kohler with the touchdown catch. And that was nice. That touchdown catch was really nice because, it just feels so good to have a win. We ain't won since the Browns game. It feels good to be able to be talking about a lot of the things that the Baltimore Ravens did right in this one. But anyway, on that Charlie Kohler touchdown catch, it was on 2nd and goal. The Baltimore Ravens had just run the ball with Derrick Henry the previous play. So they set up like they were getting ready to run again. It was a play action. But the Bears bid on that play action. Charlie Kohler ended up being wide open. I think he was wide open because the Baltimore Ravens had established like, hey, we are going to run the ball this game, which they had been. But also I'm sure the Bears were thinking like, oh, this is a backup quarterback. They ain't got no Lamar Jackson. They're going to play this extra safe, and they're really going to rely on Derrick Henry. So they're going to probably run this on 2nd and goal. Tyler Huntley put it out, kept it, play action, boom, Charlie Kohler wide open, touchdown. Football's such a mental game, man. It really is. It's a mental game before and after everything, man. And obviously it's 80% mental, 20% physical. And it's the Ravens, they won the mental game today. They really did. And they had every single reason in the world to lose it, especially with everything that's been going on. But they didn't. So shout out to the offense. Shout out to Todd Monken. Shout out to the offensive line, because for the most part, they did their thing. It wasn't an excellent game for them, but it was better than what it's been, especially because of the way that the plays were called. They allowed the offensive line to try to get into more of a rhythm, especially in the run game. And let's look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had 21 carries for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's that stat. I'm not sure exactly what the stat is, but it's like, when Derrick Henry runs for, I think, 20 or more carries, then the Ravens are like either undefeated or they got some crazy super high win percentage. But when he runs for under 20 carries, what is it, 15? I forgot what the number is. Then the Ravens, they lose almost every game. Y'all, I know one of y'all will know exactly what I'm talking about. But Derrick Henry, see, he didn't have these eye-popping stats. He didn't have these sexy numbers, anything like that. With the 2 touchdowns, that's nice. But 21 carries for 71 yards. And you see, his longest carry of the day was 10 yards. So this was a game where Derrick Henry, he was not going crazy or anything like that. He was not going off it wasn't anything like that. But they kept on feeding him, and that's so important, because that, even if he ain't getting eye-popping numbers like that, you see the impact that it had on the game. Keaton Mitchell. Harbaugh, I'm still mad at you for this one. because Keaton Mitchell continues to show why he should be on that field a lot more. Y'all know, everybody knows, I love Justice Hill. Love Justice Hill. That's my guy. Justice Hill, he came a long way from where he started, especially these past couple years. He's been amazing. It's time for Keaton Mitchell to be running back 2. It's time. It's time for him to be RB2. It's time for him to be out on that field a lot more. It needs to happen. Keaton Mitchell is just amazing. You cannot keep somebody like that on the sideline. You cannot keep somebody like that just strictly special teams. You cannot do that. Baltimore Ravens should not do that. They need to stop doing that. Keaton Mitchell, in my opinion, he don't need to be at kick return. He got a nice kick return in a game, but he does not need to be at kick return. He needs to be on the field on offense. You see what he did. The Keaton Mitchell of old, we got him back. Keaton Mitchell, 4 carries for 43 yards, averaged 10.8 yards a carry. Longest run was 25 yards. Harbaugh, stop playing with us, man. Stop playing with us. Stop playing with Keaton Mitchell. You better not trade Keaton Mitchell either. You better not. Don't do it. But anyway, and even Zay Flowers, they did a jet sweep with Zay Flowers, and he got 8 yards. So the Ravens run game, they were doing their thing. They ran the ball 35 times for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 5.1 yards a carry throughout everybody that ran the ball. So again, the numbers weren't the sexiest, but they stuck to it. They did not abandon it. And it's so important that the Baltimore Ravens, they move forward with that mindset. Don't abandon what's not working. Don't neglect Derrick Henry. You not only brought him in, you tried to trade for him a couple years ago, didn't work out, but you not only brought him in last year, but this offseason, you gave him a raise. Don't let that money go to waste. Don't. But this offense, this was a nice game to respond to everything, to respond to all the noise, to respond to all the articles, to respond to all the people, to respond to John Harbaugh for Todd Monken, to respond to Hobbs. And everybody else who said they getting tired of Todd Monken. Everybody else who said Todd Monken hard to work, all everything that was said in the article that we read every single word of, Todd Monken, this was a nice way to clap back at all of that. Now, even though the Baltimore Ravens won the game by 14, Heart of the City is giving you these Vengeance Season hoodies. Hey, we still in for our vengeance. We still getting ready to take it. Don't think our Ravens ain't about to go on a run and just go crazy with it. But anyway, Heart of the City is giving you these hoodies. All these hoodies, they $15. Their Flock Apparel hoodies are $15. And then on top of that, if you use code Ingraven, you get an additional 15% off. It does not get any better than that. Oh, you know what? It actually does, because they not only have the Vengeance hoodies, but they got the spoiled hoodies. And hey, ain't we feeling spoiled right now as Ravens fans, especially after this win? Oh, we certainly are. So to show how spoiled we are, to show how happy we are, to celebrate this victory, hit up Heart of the City. The link is in the description. Ravens defense. Oh, this was one coming into this game where I was certainly nervous. And I thought about that Rams game. Yeah, they held the Rams to 17 points, but I almost thought some of it might have been a little fool's gold. Because, again, no Puka Nacua. He left early in the game. Devontae Adams was dropping passes. They were leaving some points out there on the field. But at the same time, I was like, hey, but they still held them to 17 points. But let's see how they do against Caleb Williams and the Bears. And, boy, they went even lower because they held the Rams to 17. They held the Bears to 16. And this defense, it wasn't the sexiest defense. They weren't getting all these sacks and all these crazy highlight plays, but overall, they bent a lot, but they did not break too often. They gave up 1 touchdown all game, and the rest of the points were field goals, and that's crazy. Caleb Williams, he didn't throw any touchdowns. In fact, he threw 2 interceptions. That one to Marlon Humphrey, that should have been an interception too, but okay, it is what it is. But shout out to Nate Wiggins catching that pick, because early in the game, boy, it was looking rough, and it was looking rough, but he bounced back in a big way, and he ended up doing his thing. So shout out to Nate for that. But yeah, the defense, they did have some messed up plays. Roquan Smith, he a little shaky from time to time, but it was a solid game for them. It was a good game for them overall. They had some shaky moments for sure. Teddy Buchanan, I felt like he was just flying everywhere in this game. He looked really good to me. The pass rush, They did blitz. They manufactured some pressure time to time. Super Duper Kyle, he forced Caleb Williams to an intentional grounding play. So he's been looking a lot more like himself, especially with the freedom that he's had with Alohi Gilman, him being sort of a deep safety for them. Malachi Stark still playing back too. So that has allowed Kyle Hamilton to roam about around the line of scrimmage more, the role that they envisioned for him to have. Mike Green, he got his first sack today. So that was nice to see that boy Mike Green, official now. Welcome to the club. Looking forward to you getting many more of those, my friend. But that was really, really nice to see. But I think that might have actually been our only sack of the game. But Caleb Williams, he did get roughed up, though. He got roughed up. Marlon Humphrey, he got him. Kyle Hamilton, he got to him. Just hitting, obviously not sacks. But this defense, again, for them to bend the way that they were bending, even at the very last drive, like the Bears were literally on the goal line, and the Ravens stopped them. Even though when I saw that replay of the Caleb Williams sneak, it looked like he crossed over the goal line. It looked like that should have been touchdown. But hey, it is what it is. But the Ravens, this was a big improvement, man. It really was. It was a huge improvement. And again, especially because there were so many times where Caleb Williams was sitting in that pocket, just sitting there chilling, completing passes. And one thing about the Bears pass catchers that I kept saying throughout the game, even when they had Baltimore Ravens defenders draped all over them, they were still making the catches. Like them contested. They must practice contested catching like crazy in Chicago because they had it, man. They were doing a great job of it. So shout out to them for that. But the defense, they did their thing, man. It was very, very nice to watch a defense actually 2 games in a row actually look like a formidable defense by the Baltimore Ravens, because we have not been used to seeing that like at all. Special teams. Tyler Loop. He made all 3 of his field goals, and Tyler Loop was a little scary because them field goals, they were getting close to going wide right, but they stayed in. So I was like, whew, thank goodness. But he did his thing. Kick return. Keith Mitchell had got a really nice kick return. Rasheen Ali, he almost got a really, really nice one, but then the defenders ended up getting him. But and LaJohntay Wester, he didn't get any opportunities for punt returns, So that was cool. And then we did, of course, punt a few times. We did have some long drives, though, so Jordan Stout wasn't called on too much. So that's always nice. So special teams, they did their thing. And then with coaching, man, John Harbaugh, this may have been, just as an entire team game, this may have been the best game from the Baltimore Ravens all year. And I hate that it sometimes it comes to this, to where John Harbaugh and his team has to be stripped of something special, like a Lamar Jackson, for them to really open up their eyes and really change their ways in some different areas of the team. So hopefully when Lamar Jackson does come back, and John Harbaugh said he's hopeful that it is this Thursday, so we'll see. But hopefully they can just continue doing what they've been doing today, sticking with the run game, just keeping stuff not necessarily simple, but just effective and efficient, moving the ball, playing good defense. They do need to play better defense, though, because they were still missing a lot of tackles today. There were some busted plays and whatnot, so they still got to tighten up with that. But it was a much better showing than it has been. John Harbaugh had a really, really good challenge with the interception that Marlon Humphrey caught, even though they said, oh, no, it was a completion by the Bears. I forgot what they called it. But anyway, that was a good challenge because it was a play, like 2 plays before that, where Rome Odunze, he caught the ball and then like did a little spin move and then dove forward for a first down. And it looked like John Harbaugh thought it wasn't a first down, so I thought he might challenge that, but he didn't. So then the Marlon Humphrey play, it happened like 2 plays after that, but he challenged out. So it was a good challenge, good call. There were not any like head scratching decisions, I don't think, in this game. I don't think they were like, what are we doing? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what's wrong? I don't think it was any of that in this game, so that's always a good thing. But the Ravens, they got the job done. Now on to Miami.